Hi guys, so today I have a super exciting video on my picks for the fall. I've been seeing a lot of people's fall fragrances, fall fragrance videos, and I wanted to do my version of it. So today I have a gigantic list. You guys are not ready. I have 20 fragrances. Usually I pick like 5 to 10 fragrances that I include in my videos, but this time I have 20 and I have a lot of fragrances that you guys have never heard me talk about before. Because I have smelled so many fragrances, sometimes I get a little lazy, I'm not gonna lie, and I just like to talk about the ones that I know extremely well, the ones that I love the most and that are my favorites. And it's my fault for being lazy, but I have smelled so many that I have made this list more versatile and more diverse. So I'm very excited. I thought a lot about this list, and yeah. Before we get into this video, I quickly want to announce something super exciting that I have been holding off on for a while, and it's that I managed to get a discount code with BDK Parfums. Now, honestly guys, I am very selective with the brands that I choose to work with, not because I'm a snob, not because of any reason, but when it comes to working with a brand and finding like a partnership with a brand or something like that, I'm really selective because I only want to recommend you guys the best and what I genuinely love and would wear myself. So I'm not going to recommend you something that I wouldn't personally wear and feel really confident wearing this fragrance. So I have a discount code with one of my favorite brands. As you can see guys, I wear them all the time, BDK Parfums. I talked about in a recent video that I was gonna try and get a discount code, and I managed to do it, which I was so happy about because so many people are really interested in BDK right now. I feel like they're having a moment. Online, they're having a moment, and I managed to organize something really special for you guys. So I have a 10% discount code with BDK Parfums through luckyscent.com. The discount code is running through luckyscent.com. You can get any BDK full bottle like this. Unfortunately, you can't get the 10 ml like this. Unfortunately, I tried, but it's a little more difficult, but you can get the full bottle with 10% off with the code Demi starting on the 30th of September. So I will link everything down below because it's very complicated, but basically 10% off BDK through Lucky Scent for 5 days only, code Demi, and it's starting on the 30th. So like I said, everything will be down below so it's not confusing for you guys, but honestly guys, like, trust me on this one. If you like the same fragrances as me and you trust my recommendations, you really have to take advantage and try this house. It's just amazing and one of my favorites at the moment. I think it's super luxurious, and yeah. The first fragrance that I have in my list is from Kilian, and this fragrance is definitely one of my favorites from Kilian. It's Intoxicated. Now, Intoxicated is the perfect word for this scent because it truly is. It's one of those fragrances that you walk in the room and everyone can smell you. If you don't know how Intoxicated smells, it's kind of similar along the lines to Angel from Mugler, except it has a difference. Like, it does smell different, but the DNA is kind of around the same sort of thing. It's a chocolatey, sharp, coffee, cardamom, spicy scent, super sexy, super intense. I recommend it for men and women, so this one is perfectly unisex, but you do have to like your very strong and loud fragrances to like this one. But for me personally, it's one of my favorite from Kilian, because for Kilian, I feel like some of their fragrances last forever and some of them last like 5 minutes, which is a little disappointing. Even though I love the house, it is disappointing for the money that you're spending. Intoxicated is one of those fragrances that will last for years, and it's a 10 out of 10 for the fall and winter. Next up is one from Guerlain, and I often recommend Guerlain for fall and winter because I feel like they have some incredible fragrances for the fall and winter. This one that I'm recommending is Queer Beluga. Now, Queer Beluga is a beautiful vanilla, suede-y, a little smoky, sexy, intoxicating scent. It is more closer to the skin than something like Intoxicated. It sits a little more like sensual into your skin, but that's why I love it personally. I find it super sexy, date night scent for sure. It's not one that's super loud. The scent DNA with the suede note, it has the vanilla, but it's not sickly sweet. It has a smokiness, a creaminess. It's just beautiful. One of my favorites from the Art and Materials collection, along with Spiritus du Bleu Vanille, Tonka Imperial, Angelique Noir, but Queer Beluga is also amazing, and for me it's 100% unisex, so that's why I wanted to include it in this video today, and it's definitely one for the fall and winter. Super sexy. Next up is one from Xerjoff. Now, I don't often recommend Xerjoff fragrances. I don't really know why, but I don't have so many from the house. I mostly have samples, but this fragrance from Xerjoff I adore. They do gourmand fragrances very well, Xerjoff, I feel. The house has a lot of sweet, deep, rich scents, and one of my favorites, and definitely one that is more underrated, is Ivory Root. Oh wow, guys, like Ivory Root to me is this beautiful creamy vanilla. It has some spice, it's very sexy and oriental and creamy, sandalwood, patchouli. It's just beautiful, but it actually is strange because the notes don't really make you kind of feel inside what the fragrance is going to smell like, because the notes are so strange but the fragrance smells so beautiful. So definitely one of my favorites from Xerjoff, and 100% for the fall and winter. Such an underrated gem, and every time I go to a Xerjoff counter I'm always spraying on Ivory Root, so I love it. Next up is one from Diptyque, and I would definitely say this fragrance is more leaning towards the masculine side in my opinion. This is 34 Boulevard Saint-Germain. Now this fragrance to me super underrated from Diptyque. I have no idea why, because it's just amazing. To me, 34, you know the name, guys. It's such a long name that it's so hard to keep on saying, but this fragrance is a very woody, smooth, slightly sweet underneath, balsamic, a little spicy scent, very much similar to like a Jubilation vibe. I really feel it is that more refined, classy, gentleman scent. Women could definitely wear it, but for me personally I feel like it's more of a manly scent. But for the fall and winter, if a guy wore this fragrance around me, wow, like it's really that classy gentleman scent. It's not something sexy and loud like Intoxicated, it's the gentleman scent. But like I said, guys, I wanted to make this list super diverse and versatile so that everyone can find a fragrance in this list for you. So 34 Boulevard Saint-Germain from Diptyque. Next up was MFK. Now MFK has so many good fragrances for the fall and winter, but my favorite, and probably my top 3 from MFK, definitely in my top 3 from MFK, is Grand Soir. Grand Soir to me is one of the best amber scents on the market, period, hands down, period. And the reason is because it's amber, but in a super refined, high quality, luxurious, deep, rich way. The amber in this fragrance, it's more of that dark, deep amber. It's not that kind of fizzy, fresh, spicy amber. Grand Soir is very sweet and warm and rounded and intense and thick and powdery and balsamic. It's just amazing. If you haven't tried this scent and you like those sort of really deep, oriental, ambery, warm scents, you have to try it. It's like a blanket when you spray it on your skin. I recommend it for men and women, but I do feel like men like this one more than women. But for me personally, it's one of my favorites from MFK that I like to wear, that I like to smell on people. So definitely check this one out from MFK, Grand Soir. BDK Gris Chanel. Guys. Everyone is talking about this fragrance right now. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is loving it. I feel like I exposed a little secret and I'm sad. Gris Chanel is just magic. It is a magical scent. It is nothing loud and obnoxious and heavy and crazy. It is something so smooth and sensual and creamy and just like a blanket. It's like a cashmere sweater. The inspiration behind this fragrance is to be in bed in your like blanket, wrapped up, maybe you're with someone and you look out in the sky and it's like a grey Parisian sky, which made me fall in love with the scent even more because it's how I feel when I wear it. So one of my subscribers described this in the best way possible, saying that it smelled like this chai latte, like a milky chai latte with some spice, some milkiness, some creaminess, that kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, but she just described it perfectly, and I would say that's exactly what it smells like. 10 out of 10 fragrance, men and women for sure. Some people say it's more feminine, some people say it's more masculine. For me, it's unisex, and I just adore it, as you guys can tell. For me to make this much of a dent in a fragrance is a miracle, you know, like it's really a miracle. And the most exciting thing is that I have my discount code with BDK. I will leave everything down below, but it's on luckyscent.com, so any BDK fragrance that you want to get, you can get it with 10% off with the code LUCKYDEMI, and it's only running for 5 days, so it's a super limited exclusive code. It's not going to come back, and if you wanted to get a BDK, I would take advantage. So it's starting on the 30th of this month, so it's a Wednesday, and 5 days only. But Gris Chanel, guys, it's wow. Next up we have one from Amouage. Again, Amouage is a house. I could have picked like 30 fragrances for fall from Amouage because they have so many good fragrances. Interlude, you have Jubilation, you just have so many, and that's hard. But my pick is actually one that just became available globally. Anyone can buy it, and it is Overture Man. Now, Overture Man, it used to be a Harrods exclusive. Now it's available to everyone, which is super exciting because everyone needs to discover this scent if it's the sort of fragrance that you like. Overture Man to me is kind of along the lines of like Enigma from Roger, like the Enigma boozy, spicy, warm cognac type of fragrance. Overture Man, in my opinion, is better. It is that warm, actually it's not even super warm, it's that spicy, ambery, boozy, a little powdery. It's just incredible. I would say it's unisex, leaning more masculine, so just keep that in mind. But Overture Man from Amouage is wow, and if you have never smelled it, you really should, because to me it is one of the best from Amouage and super underrated. So definitely check this one out if you haven't already. Next up we have Montale Intense Cafe. Now if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm really over the rose oud combinations. I'm over them, I'm done with them, let's move on, see you later, I'm not gonna miss you for a while. But I wanted to include one, and for me, Montale Intense Cafe, it's a really good one. Like, it's really good, everybody loves it, everybody knows it now. It's one of the most popular niche fragrances, I would say. Montale Intense Cafe, it's a super syrupy, coffee, milky rose scent. It has this kind of warm chocolatey vibe to it, super sweet and syrupy, so keep that in mind. It's super loud, it projects, it lasts a long time. I would say it's unisex, maybe a touch more feminine, just in my opinion, but still men and women can wear it. It's Jesus, Paris is so noisy, guys. Like, I'm trying to film like since 2 hours and it's so noisy and I can't deal with it. Like I said, incredible rose, warm, syrupy, sweet fragrance. Just incredible, and it's one of the best in my opinion if you want something long-lasting, loud, sweet, sexy, seductive. This one is fantastic. Next up, we have a Marly, of course. And again, this was hard. Ojan, Habdan, Carlisle, Leighton exclusive. It was difficult, but the one that I wanted to go for is obviously, if you watch me, you know, it's Herod. Herod, to me, guys, it's sex in a bottle. It is just heaven. It's sweet, smooth, spicy cinnamon. The cinnamon in this scent is so intoxicating. You have the vanilla, the tobacco, but everything is so well blended. It almost has a cherry vibe. I always say that, but you do kind of get this cherry overlay to the scent. It is just incredible, super long lasting on my skin. I know a lot of people talk about like, oh, Herod is being reformulated, etc. As far as I know, it has not. Mine lasts a very long time. It projects a lot, and I just am obsessed with it. Like I said, guys, this is one of my favorite fragrances on a man, hands down. I like to wear it myself, but it is really intoxicating on a guy. It's definitely unisex though, so if you're a woman, check it out if that sounds like your sort of fragrance, like that Kilian Back to Black type of vibe. So Herod from Marly, 10 out of 10 for the fall and winter. I always have it within my little, what do you call it? Fall collection. Next up is one from Frederic Malle, and if you guys don't know this, I really respect the house of Frederic Malle a lot. I don't own any of them. I have massive samples of Frederic Malle fragrances in Australia, but sadly I don't own barely any. But if I had to buy one Frederic Malle, I know which one I would buy hands down, and it is Musc Ravageur by Maurice Roussel. I adore Musc Ravageur. For me, it's a gourmand, but it's not a gourmand, if that makes any sense at all. It is this warm, woody, vanilla, spicy, beautiful, refined fragrance. I just adore it. It doesn't smell synthetic. It smells super natural, but really sexy, a little musky. I'm obsessed with it. If you don't know, it was actually created by Simrise. The lab that created it is Simrise, and Simrise is the lab that I am working on with my perfume. Stay tuned. And I'm just so happy. Simrise is an incredible lab. They have so many amazing raw materials, and I can't say enough good things. But anyways, Musc Ravageur for me, one of the best from Frederic Malle, and for the fall and winter, it's so so yummy and so good. I do recommend this one to men and women. I do think men may like this one more though, so keep that in mind. Next up we have one from Serge Lutens, and there is a lot. You could have Fiangi, Chugui, Ombre Vanille, but the fragrance that I chose was Féminine du Bois. And the reason that I chose this one is because it is more subtle. I know some people don't like a lot of massive, heavy, crazy perfumes like Intoxicated or Herod, for instance. Féminine du Bois, it's that perfect transitioning scent. It still has that kind of fall aspect to the scent without being too obnoxious or loud. It's more like a Gris Chanel type of fragrance. It's very woody and creamy and a little bit spicy, a little bit sweet, has a little bit of a fruity aspect to it. It is just amazing. I really love my type of woody, sweet, creamy fragrances, and Féminine du Bois, it's so refined and so well done, and I just adore it. And it's more for the person, like I said, that doesn't want something so loud and crazy and obnoxious. So love it, and I cannot recommend it enough. Féminine du Bois from Serge Lutens. Next up we have another BDK, and it is Rouge Smoking. I feel like Rouge Smoking is one of the favorites from BDK. Everybody loves it, but if I'm being honest, guys, like I'm not being sponsored or paid to say this, BDK, they have a lot of great fragrances. Like, they don't just have one fragrance that is like their best fragrance ever. They have a lot that are really great and easily could become like the bestseller of the brand. For me, Gris Chanel is just wow because it's super unique, but Rouge Smoking, it is wow as well. It is a gourmand, but without being too sweet and syrupy and heavy. It has this nutty asset to the fragrance that I just adore. It has almonds, heliotrope, tonka beans, cherry, but the cherry is not like a syrupy cherry. So if you're a guy, you could definitely wear this and not feel like you're a girly girl wearing cherry body mist, you know? It doesn't smell like that at all. It's super refined and high quality, and I just love it. It's very smooth and powdery and creamy and yummy and warm and intoxicating. Just adore it. Rouge Smoking. Again, I have my discount code with BDK, but all of the information I'm going to leave it down below. My baby, Oud for Greatness. I spoke about this one time after time after time after time. I've been talking about it since I got back from Cannes last year from the tax-free when I found this fragrance. I have been talking about this for such a long time. It is easily one of my favorite oud fragrances ever. When my boyfriend wears this scent, when a guy wears this scent, I cannot stop smelling, following, being intoxicated by the fragrance. And if you buy this and if you smell it, you're going to see exactly what I mean. There is something about this that is so mysterious, so intoxicating. It is an oud scent, but without being that kind of skanky animalic oud. It's not a rose oud. It's not this sort of oud. It is a very unique type of fragrance. So it's very mysterious. It has oud, saffron, nutmeg, patchouli. To me, I describe it as like a dry, smoky oud with a little touch of sweetness. So it has that dry, mysterious wave that comes around you, and when you wear it, it just wafts and intoxicates people wherever you are. But it has a little bit of a sweetness to it, which I personally find is that little addictive thing to the scent. So Oud for Greatness from Initio, 10 out of 10. My baby, I adore it, and I will never not have a bottle of this in my collection. Next up, we have one from Nishane, and it is Annie. I have this one back in Dubai, and I miss it a lot because I didn't bring it with me to Paris, but I miss it right now, and I really wish I had it with me. Nishane Annie is one of my favorite vanilla fragrances because it's a very unique vanilla. It doesn't smell like your typical basic vanilla scent. It has a lot of edges to it, which I adore. It has ginger, vanilla, it has a balsamic, warm feeling from the benzoin. It's super cozy, but in the beginning you have that kind of, really sorry about the noise, guys. In the beginning of the scent, you have that kind of kick from the ginger, which I think really lifts the fragrance, and then when it settles down into your skin, it becomes really warm, vanilla, cozy, benzoin, and I just love it. So I was gonna say Diptyque. Nishane's Annie, 10 out of 10 fragrance. Next up is one from Penhaligon, and I don't often talk about this house, even though I think it's a really great house, as in I love the vibe. I love that traditional, very royal kind of bottles that they have. I really like the vibe of the house. Penhaligons. I also like the name. But anyways, the fragrance that I'm going to recommend is called Roaring Radcliffe. Now, this fragrance is fantastic for the fall and winter. It is a warm, sweet, it has honeycomb, it has tobacco, it has a booziness, it's sweet and spicy, really intoxicating. Now, I do recommend this one more for men because I do think it's a touch more masculine. If you haven't checked out this line from Penhaligons, I don't know what it's called, but they have like the big animal heads on top. It's a super interesting line from the house and much more modern than the rest of the collection. And for me, I just adore this scent. Roaring Radcliffe from Penhaligons. For the fall and winter, it's wow. Next up, we have one from Phaedon. Now, I've never talked about this fragrance. I have a massive sample and I adore this scent so much. It is called Tabac Rouge or Tabac Rouge. Now, this scent does smell kind of like Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. The tobacco, the vanilla. Actually, somebody mentioned, and I really agree with this, that it smells a little bit like Herod and Ojan mixed in one bottle. And I totally agree with this comparison. Tabac Rouge from Phaedon, it's a fantastic fragrance for the fall. I would say maybe a little more masculine again. Unisex for sure, but it depends what you like. Fantastic scent, really amazing. I cannot wait to get a bottle of this one, and if you don't know it, definitely check it out. Okay, Side Effect from Initio. I tried not to include too many from each house, but Side Effect, guys, it's like my baby. I love it so much. It is a boozy, sweet, spicy, just whoa, like this fragrance is whoa to me. I wear it all the time. I just got a new bottle. I bought one in Paris because I couldn't be without this scent, especially in the fall. I really wanted to have one, so I got it. Now, Side Effect, it's actually my sister, Shelby. It's her favorite fragrance, one of her favorite fragrances ever in the world. She wore it to work, to the office, to nights out, to lunch, when she woke up in the morning, after a shower, when she went to bed. Shelby wore Side Effect every day, all day, and I know why. She described it as sex in a bottle, which I agree. It does have that similar thing to Herod a little bit. For me, Side Effect, it's just wow. Intoxicating, boozy, spicy, vanilla heaven. I love it. I adore it. It's 10 out of 10. It is 100% unisex. Men and women can wear it, and one of my favorite Initios. We have Profumum Roma Confetto. Now, I recently discovered this fragrance like earlier this year, and I really love it. This house is very inaccessible though. I feel like you cannot find them very many places. You can only really find them online in certain boutiques. They're very hard to come by. But one fragrance from the house. I really enjoy this house. I think they have really high quality oils. All of their fragrance are parfum concentrate. I do like the house. It's just annoying that they're so inaccessible. So one that I love is called Confetto. It's this beautiful sandalwood, smooth, sweet, almondy kind of fragrance. It's kind of strange actually. This fragrance apparently is supposed to smell like Hypnotic Poison from Dior, which I do get a little bit of a similarity, baby similarity, but I really do enjoy this scent. I think it's intoxicating. I think it's so beautiful. It's very airy. It's more of that light gourmand rather than being something thick and heavy. So if you like your fragrances and your gourmands a little more lighter in area, definitely check this fragrance out. It's just gorgeous. I would say it's a little more feminine, unisex, but a little more feminine. So check it out if it interests you. Confetto from Profumum Roma. And finally, we have one from Jo Malone. Now, despite my feelings towards Jo Malone, I'm not a big fan of this house. I think it's very cheap, and I'm not a big fan. I don't like a lot of the fragrances. I think they're very not worth the money. So that's my opinion. But I'm still going to include one because it needs to get its own credit. It is Mourin Tonka from Jo Malone. This is definitely one of the only fragrances from the house that I would spend my money on. I think it's really good. Mourin Tonka, it's almost like this, it's sweet and creamy and very dark. It has like a touch of a booziness to it. It's just incredible. I love it so much. It's very, very intoxicating. For me, unisex, men, women go crazy for it. And I really do think it is a great fragrance, despite what I feel about the house. So no matter what, guys, I'm always honest with you. I tell you, I don't like Jo Malone as a house, but I love this fragrance from Jo Malone. Mourin Tonka for the fall and winter. It is a 10 out of 10. Finally, I'm gonna plug my own perfume. Guys, my perfume is so perfect for the fall and winter. Like, it's the only thing, as you can see, this is a new batch and I've already run out of it. I am going through my perfume like water. It is, for me, one of my favorite gourmands I've ever tried, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to hype my perfume right now. It is going to be launching like October, November. because I am wanting to rework it once more, so it's taking a little more time. But the same lab, like I said, that made Musc Ravageur from Frederic Malle so many amazing fragrances is making my perfume Simrise. So I'm really happy and honored that I'm working with such a great team, and it is with a brand. So it's like the brand has the bottle, everything, but it's my creation, it's gonna have my name on it, etc. So very cool project, and I cannot wait for it to launch. It is unisex, by the way, for anyone wondering. Don't forget, I have my discount code with BDK starting on the 30th of September, only running for 5 days. It's probably not going to come back. I don't see them doing this a lot at all. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So if you wanted to get 10% off BDK, you can with the code LuckyDemi on LuckyScent from the 30th. But again, I'm trying to talk very fast because this video is insane. So I'm going to go now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.